Well, hello there, welcome to the channel. Let's have a look at this amazing new camera from DJI, the DJI Osmo Nano. I'm going to review this and tell you why I picked it over the Action 6 and what I'm going to use it for. So stick around, let's go. So let me introduce myself. My name's Richard. I'm an outdoor photographer from Ireland. And I like to do photography, vlogs, gear reviews, tips and tricks, all that sort of stuff. Now, over the last few weeks, I've been thinking I needed another camera, an additional camera for my setup. I've used the Pocket 3 extensively for my videos, and it's a fantastic camera, and I absolutely love it. But like I said, I wanted another camera, something along the Action Cam line, something to get additional camera views for B-roll, and also for doing some POV footage for my photography. Now, initially, I saw that the DJI Action 6 was coming out, and I said, right, I'll wait and I'll grab that. But while I was waiting and I did a bit more research, I saw that this amazing little camera had just come out about 5-6 weeks ago at this stage. I looked into it a bit more and I think, you know, I think this is just a better camera for me, and it might be a better camera for you. It may be a better option than the Action 6 for a lot of people out there. So this is what the video is about. I'm just going to run through some of the functionality of this camera. I'm going to show you what I'm going to use it for. Some of the stats on the camera. So it shoots obviously 4K up to 60 frames per second. It can do a 120 frames a second in the super slow-mo mode. You know, compared to the Action 6, it's a lot smaller. Like the actual camera unit can split from the display, and the camera unit's only 52 grams. It's tiny compared to it, it's like 150 grams on the Action 6. Now, I plan on mounting this, like I said, to my camera on a lanyard, possibly, maybe to a baseball hat, but probably not too often. And obviously use it on a selfie stick like I'm using it at the moment. The camera can do time lapses, hyperlapses. It's waterproof to 10 meters, which is more than enough for me. Now, that's the actual little camera unit's waterproof. The display module, it's not, it's only water resistant, but that's fine. I don't plan on sticking it in the water anyway. The setup that I got came with like a standard kit. It's €319, which is, again, Action 6 only launched today, and it's coming in at the basic package is $389. So it's cheaper than the Action 6. And with the combo I got a lanyard, magnetic lanyard, a clip for attaching to your peak of your cap, little suction cup adapter for mounting it to glass, and also, yeah, decent setup. So I have the Osmo mounted here on my jacket using the lanyard. Obviously I'm filming this on the Pocket 3, but the lanyard feels sturdy. I'm quite happy that this Osmo is going to stay there on the jacket and not fall off. So I'm going to walk around here. I'm going to switch to Osmo view now, and I'll talk a bit more. So I'm shooting here in rock steady mode. There's two stabilizations. There's rock steady and there's horizon leveling balancing mode. I think rock steady is the optimal one to use when you're walking. And when you're in the rock steady mode, then you have a choice of like ultra wide, wide, and a standard field of view. I think the standard field of view is about 15 mil, and the ultra wide is what you're looking at now. And there's a de-warp setting as well, which is more narrow. I think again it's around 15 mil, and it removes any de-warping and fisheye effects. But it's very comfortable to use. It's actually, I thought I'd be a bit more conscious of wearing it, but I'm not really at all, because it's so small. It's really, really good. Now, the audio you're hearing is coming from the DJI Mic 2 that I have. Now, from my initial testing just here now today of the audio, I'm coming across a few issues that you need to be aware of. So I kind of thought this would be the case, but I use the Mic 2 with my Pocket 3 all the time, and I was hoping that connecting from the Pocket 3 to the Nano would be pretty straightforward, but it's not. So to use the DJI Mic 2 with this setup, you obviously have to connect it to the Osmo Nano. But if you want to switch then to the Pocket 3, you have to disconnect from the Nano and then reconnect to the Pocket 3, and it's a bit time consuming and it's a bit fiddly. Another point worth noting with the audio, which is quite strange, is that normally when you're using the Pocket, the Nano 3, here's your vision dock, and you can obviously attach this to the camera, or you can disconnect it to the camera, and you can watch a live feed from your camera with this disconnected, and it's really, really great. But I'm just switching it on there now. when the audio is connected with the mic 3, you get an error saying you cannot show live view because the audio is connected. Now, I've done a little research and it doesn't seem to be a way around it. Now, I'm a bit disappointed with that. I cannot see how DJI can't fix this, and maybe they'll fix it in a future firmware upgrade, but it is quite annoying. So basically, for me to get the live view on this, I have to disconnect my mic and just use the internal mic on the DJI Nano. Well, this is one of the views. One of the reasons, again, I wanted this camera is for this POV view, for if I want to add some B-roll to my videos of using the camera. So obviously you can see here I have the camera in my hand and you can see the image on my screen, and obviously I'm not pointing at anything in particularly beautiful here, but you get the idea. So I'll play around with this for a while longer and see what's like, again, with this chest mount system. So although I feel very comfortable wearing this setup, but it's really suitable in my opinion just for hiking, for getting that footage when you're hiking. I don't normally shoot with my camera like this, but I mean it is excellent for that as well. I normally put the camera up to my eye, but what I would find with this particular view is obviously you're not catching my head movements. When I'm looking at something, you're not seeing it, you're just looking straight ahead. But yeah, overall, I'm really happy with this setup. So this little clip here is for mounting to your hat, baseball hat. Now, I don't normally wear these, but I'm just for you guys, for this special occasion, I'm going to wear it and see what it is like. So hat mounted to the hat there, put the camera on there, and that's straightforward. And let's throw it on and see how stupid I look. Anywho, I'll wear this for a second. Let's get it centered. Now, I'll throw it on and let's get filming. So I won't lie to you, I'm very conscious about wearing this camera on my hat, especially when there's lots of people walking around. Again, I think this would be ideal for hiking for me, because I'd be less paranoid about, you know, how I look. But at the moment, it's not too many people around, so it's not so bad. But you can see, obviously, it's a much better view for seeing what's going on from your point of view. You can see what's happening here on my camera. You know, I can go through my settings. You can see what settings I'm changing, you know, and yeah, that's super useful. Now, as for camera battery life with this camera, they claim it's 90 minutes for the actual camera unit, and then if you connect to the dock and it's all fully charged, you'll get 200 minutes maximum, which is pretty good. Like, I'm seeing the battery usage is probably in real world used to be less than that. Now I'm shooting this, like I said, at 4K, 60 FPS. I've gone in and changed the bit rate in the settings to the highest setting, and that'll just give you a better footage. You also have the option of D-Log M on this camera, which is fantastic if you're into color grading and all that sort of crack. Now, I'm not going to get any good shots today because I'm focused on making this video, but just out demonstration wise, so you can see from a POV point of view how well this works. Another thing worth noting about this little clip for the hat is that you could actually clip it onto a collar of a shirt just here. Now, what I'm wearing is not suitable. If I have a t-shirt or something like that, this can slide over and then you can get a neck view by mounting the camera on that. So that's like a fourth option, so it's really good. But I'm just going to show you this little adapter here. This little suction cup comes with the setup. And this is great for obviously sticking on windows, getting your interior car views, or sticking it onto any window like that. It's fantastic. Now, I would only recommend sticking it to glass. I had the device about an hour and I tried to stick this to a cupboard, or a wooden cupboard, and of course the case fell off, which was my own fault. I should have known better. But beauty of the Action cam, or of the Nano, should I say, is it's well protected. It comes in like a plastic case that you put around it, and it's worth knowing that these lenses that are on it are replaceable, and you can get them on the DJI website. I think it's about €30, and I know I'm going to order one up and just keep it in my bag for when I do crack this glass or scrape the glass. But for this next option, I'm going to show you how I'm going to mount it. So you get your suction cup and you just unscrew this, and then it's a 1/4 inch hole inside here. So I've got a little hot shoe adapter for my camera head, and I'm just going to screw that on here, and I'm going to mount this on my camera. Sorry, you're not seeing it there. I mount it onto my camera, nice and tight, and then bish bash bosh. Great job. Let's try this out and see what it looks like. So here we have it mounted on the top of my camera on the hot shoe, and I really like this view here. Now this allows me to put the camera right up to my eye, to the viewfinder, and get the shots I want. Now obviously you can only see what I'm seeing when I'm holding the camera and moving the camera level to some extent. You know, once I put the camera down along my side, you're looking at the floor. But yeah, no, it's great. It's just another way I can mix up shots. And some of the other functions on the camera that I need to tell you about is it has a pre-record setting that you can set. So you can pre-record for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, I think all the way up to 2 minutes on the camera. And what that means is it's camera's constantly recording, and when you hit the record button on the camera or on the viewfinder, it will actually record the previous 15 or 30 seconds. Now, it's really useful, and it'll be useful for this sort of scenario here, whereas if I was walking around and I saw something and I hadn't got the camera recording, I can just take the shot and hit the record button then, and it will get my previous 30 seconds, so I'll catch it all. So it's a really useful feature, but it is worth noting that that pre-recording setting only stays active when the camera's powered on. Once you switch it off, it switches off, and you have to reset it for the next time. Now also, there's another really nifty feature on this camera that I love, and it's you've voice control on it. So once you switch the voice control on, you simply say start recording, stop recording, and the camera will start and stop recording. So that's super useful. Obviously I have it switched off at the moment, otherwise it would have stopped recording on me. Just a few more comparisons between this and the Osmo Action 6. This has 128, my model has 128 gigabyte internal storage, which is great. It also can take an SD card up to, I think, a terabyte, but you know, there's a 64 gigabyte and there's 128 gigabyte. I went with 128 gigabyte just so I didn't have to worry about the SD cards, and I think that's great. The Action 6, I believe, only goes up to 50 gigabytes internal storage. So, you know, that's a win for the Nano. Now, obviously the sensor on the Action 6 is slightly bigger than what's on the Nano, and so that will obviously mean you'll get just that bit better quality of image, and it's also got a variable aperture on the Aperture 6, whereas this is fixed aperture at 2.8. In comparisons to the Pocket 3, the Pocket 3 obviously is a 1-inch sensor, which is bigger than both the cameras, so it gives great image quality. The Nano has low light capabilities as well, so it has like a super night mode for shooting at night time. So obviously at night time, most cameras will struggle. So this camera gives you a mode along with all the other DJI cameras to shoot at night. As for whether I would go with this camera just as your primary vlogging camera, I'm not so sure. I mean it's excellent, it's more than capable of doing it, but for me personally, it might annoy me a bit. Like at the moment, I'm shooting with the selfie stick and I've got the camera mounted on top of the viewing module, and it's working great. I can see myself vlogging, but if I want to turn the camera around now to face the other direction, I'll have to physically disconnect the camera, lift it up and flick it around and drop it, and it would kind of break up the flow. So something like the DJI, the Pocket 3 is great in that respect, that you can you know, turn the camera without having to start the video. And then with the Action 6, you obviously have a camera on the front, or a screen should I say, on the front of the device and on the back. So that gives you added flexibility that you don't have with the Nano. But then at the same time, the Nano's great in that you can use the remote viewer for setting up a shot and looking at it offline. You know, once you don't have the mic connected. Now I can't stress, I am quite annoyed about this little bug with the DJI Mic, that when I disconnect this viewer, when the mic's connected, I can no longer see. So I really hope DJI fix this with a firmware update, and I haven't seen anyone else really talking about it. So yeah, this is my big takeaway from this experiment today. But look at them overall, I'm really happy with the device. Well, last couple of points worth noting on the Nano is that obviously the camera's magnetic, so that's fantastic. You can pick it up and you can stick it to fences, lamp posts, anything metallic obviously, and you can get, you know, save you carrying a tripod. It's just quick and easy. Throw it on the sup, get a bit of B-roll. Fantastic, can't go wrong. For some reason, DJI didn't include a little carrying pouch in the box, which is kind of strange. They normally throw them in their boxes, but there's no little pouch in this box, and I definitely recommend you get one. If you're a photographer like me, you'll probably have a million of them lying around just to keep the camera and the screen in when it's in your bag. Offer some protection, because I can imagine the screen could get scratched up fairly easy. So definitely use a pouch, throw the gear in a pouch. And really overall, like I said, I'm really happy with the camera. It's super versatile, super functional. My only little gripe is about the mic, but to tell you the truth, I won't be doing a huge amount of vlogging with the camera like this. Obviously I'm using it here on the Osmo. I'm just going to really be mainly using it for B-roll most of the time, so I don't really need to worry about the audio there. I'll catch my audio with the Pocket 3. But fantastic. Look, I hope I've covered as much as possible there in the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've got something out of it and you've seen some that you haven't seen elsewhere. But I definitely consider this camera over the Action 3. For me, it's perfect. I can understand other people, maybe they want something a bit more rugged, maybe they want just that higher quality image. That's maybe the way they'll go with it, but for the sheer size of this and the options that it opens up, for me, it's definitely staying in my camera bag. I can see myself using it a lot, and yeah, really happy. Well, okay, that's me done here in Malahide Castle here in Dublin. Look, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, well, please hit the like. If you have any questions, drop a comment, and if you really liked it, well, definitely consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. I'm very close to my 1,000 subscriber mark, so yeah, that would be fantastic. But I shall have another video out in the next week or two, so until then, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.